Ubisoft Entertainment is a big name in video games. It started in 1986 in France. The five Guillemot brothers founded the company. They started by distributing games. Soon they made their own. In the early years, Ubisoft made games for many different computers. One early hit was Zombie, a game about surviving a zombie apocalypse. It was different from other games at the time. This helped Ubisoft get noticed. As the gaming world grew, so did Ubisoft. The company opened studios in other countries. It wanted to be a global force in making games. This expansion set the stage for Ubisoft's rise to fame. The late 1990s saw the rise of mascot-driven platformers. This era was marked by the emergence of iconic characters that would define a generation of gaming. Think of games like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon. These characters became household names, captivating players with their unique worlds and engaging gameplay. Ubisoft jumped into this trend with Rayman, a character that stood out with his limbless design and whimsical universe. Released in 1995, Rayman was a critical and commercial success. It quickly garnered a dedicated fan base and received praise for its innovative design. The game had beautiful graphics for its time, featuring vibrant colors and detailed environments that drew players into its magical world. Its gameplay was challenging yet rewarding, offering a perfect balance that kept players coming back for more. Each level was meticulously crafted to provide a unique experience. Rayman became a flagship franchise for Ubisoft, spawning numerous sequels and spin-offs that expanded its universe and lore. The success of Rayman allowed Ubisoft to experiment with other genres. This newfound confidence led to a period of creativity and innovation within the company. They released games like the racing game Pod and the strategy game Imperialism II. These titles showcased Ubisoft's versatility and willingness to explore new ideas. Some of these experiments were more successful than others. While not every game was a hit, each one contributed to Ubisoft's growing reputation. However, Ubisoft was still finding its footing. The company faced challenges and setbacks as it navigated the competitive gaming industry. It was searching for a winning formula that would propel it to the top of the industry. The team was dedicated to pushing the boundaries of what was possible in gaming. Little did they know that formula was just around the corner. The foundation laid by Rayman's success would soon lead to even greater achievements for Ubisoft. The 2000s were a turning point for Ubisoft. The company launched several new franchises. These franchises would become some of the biggest in gaming. These games included Splinter Cell, Prince of Persia, and Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. These games had something in common. They focused on stealth gameplay. Players had to think strategically. They couldn't just run and gun. This style of gameplay resonated with players. Ubisoft also embraced new technology. The company pushed the boundaries of graphics and gameplay. Ubisoft wanted to create immersive and exciting experiences for players. Ubisoft continued its success in the late 2000s and early 2010s, building on the momentum it had gained in the gaming industry. The company released two of its most popular franchises, Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, which quickly became household names among gamers. These games were massive hits, captivating millions of players worldwide and setting new standards in the gaming industry. They solidified Ubisoft's place as a gaming giant, earning numerous awards and accolades for their innovative gameplay and storytelling. Assassin's Creed, launched in 2007, let players become assassins in historical settings, offering a unique blend of history and fiction. The game was praised for its open world and engaging story, allowing players to explore richly detailed environments and immerse themselves in the narrative. Far Cry, first released in 2004, offered a similar open-world experience but with a focus on survival and exploration in exotic locations. However, Far Cry focused on first-person shooter gameplay in exotic locations, providing intense action and strategic combat scenarios. Ubisoft's success was due to several factors, including their talented development teams and their ability to innovate and adapt to changing market trends. The company had a knack for creating compelling franchises that resonated with players, ensuring long-term engagement and loyalty. These franchises could be iterated upon and expanded, with each new release building on the success of its predecessors and introducing new elements to keep players hooked. Ubisoft also became a master of marketing and distribution. Their games were everywhere, from digital platforms to physical stores, ensuring maximum reach and visibility. They leveraged social media and influencer partnerships to create buzz and anticipation for their releases, making each launch a major event in the gaming community. By fostering a global gaming community, Ubisoft ensured that their games not only reached a wide audience, but also created lasting connections among players. Section 5: cracks in the foundation. However, not everything was perfect within Ubisoft. While the company was riding high on its blockbuster franchises, cracks began to appear in its foundation. There were reports of troubled development cycles. Employees spoke out about crunch culture. Games were often delayed. When they were released, they were sometimes buggy. Critics and players started to notice a trend. Ubisoft games, while often ambitious, felt formulaic. They relied heavily on open-world checklists and repetitive mission design. The company's focus on annual releases and maximizing profits was taking a toll on its employees and the quality of its games. The warning signs were there, but Ubisoft seemed unwilling or unable to address them. Section 6: #MeToo and Cultural Reckoning. This chapter delves into the profound impact of the #MeToo movement on the video game industry, a sector that had long been perceived as male-dominated and resistant to change. In 2020, the video game industry was hit by a wave of accusations. These allegations were not isolated incidents, but part of a broader pattern of misconduct that had been festering for years. The #MeToo movement, which had already shaken Hollywood, reached the world of game development. Women in the industry began to share their stories, revealing a culture of harassment and abuse that had been ignored for too long. Ubisoft was at the center of the storm. The company, known for its popular game franchises, found itself under intense scrutiny. Numerous employees came forward with allegations of sexual misconduct, harassment, and abuse. These brave individuals shed light on the toxic environment that had been allowed to thrive. These allegations implicated high-ranking members of the company. Executives who were supposed to lead by example were found to be part of the problem. Ubisoft faced intense scrutiny for its toxic workplace culture. The revelations painted a picture of a company where fear and intimidation were commonplace. The company was accused of protecting abusers and silencing victims. This systemic issue highlighted the need for a complete overhaul of corporate policies and practices. The fallout from these allegations was significant. The gaming community and the public demanded accountability and transparency. Several executives left the company. Their departures were seen as a necessary step towards addressing the deep-rooted issues within Ubisoft. Ubisoft promised to make changes to its workplace culture. The company announced new initiatives aimed at promoting diversity, inclusion, and respect. However, many questioned whether these changes were enough. Skepticism remained high, with employees and the gaming community watching closely to see if real progress would be made. The scandal tarnished Ubisoft's reputation. The company's image took a significant hit, and rebuilding trust would be a long and challenging process. It raised questions about the company's leadership and values. The scandal forced a reckoning, prompting a deeper examination of what kind of culture and values the company truly stood for. Section 7: the UBI formula grows stale. In the wake of the Me Too scandal, Ubisoft faced another challenge. Its games were becoming stale. The company's formula of open-world checklists and repetitive gameplay was wearing thin with players. Games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Far Cry 6 received mixed reviews. They were criticized for lacking innovation. Players complained about the overwhelming size of the game worlds. They felt like chores rather than exciting adventures. Ubisoft's attempts to innovate, like the online shooter Hyperscape, failed to gain traction. The company seemed stuck in a rut. It was struggling to adapt to changing player tastes and the evolving gaming landscape. Section 8: live service struggles. In recent years, the video game industry has seen a shift towards live service games. These games are designed to be played for years. They offer continuous updates, new content, and microtransactions. Ubisoft attempted to jump on this trend, but with limited success. Games like Tom Clancy's The Division 2 and Ghost Recon Breakpoint struggled to maintain a player base. They faced competition from established live service games like Destiny 2 and Fortnite. Ubisoft's attempts to monetize these games through microtransactions were met with backlash from players. The company's live service struggles highlighted its challenges in adapting to the evolving gaming landscape. Ubisoft seemed to be chasing trends rather than setting them. Section 9. An uncertain future. Today, Ubisoft faces an uncertain future. The company is at a crossroads. It needs to decide what kind of company it wants to be. It can continue to rely on its aging franchises, or it can try to innovate and adapt to the changing gaming landscape. There are some signs of hope. Ubisoft has announced several new games. These games seem like a departure from the company's usual formula. However, it remains to be seen whether these games will be successful. Ubisoft's future success depends on its ability to learn from its past mistakes. The company needs to address its workplace culture issues. It needs to create innovative and engaging games that appeal to modern players. Section 10. Conclusion. A story of resilience. Ubisoft's journey is a story of both triumph and failure. The company has created some of the most beloved video game franchises of all time. However, it has also been plagued by controversies and missteps. Ubisoft's story is a reminder that even the biggest companies are not immune to failure. It also shows that companies can change and adapt. Only time will tell what the future holds for Ubisoft. However, one thing is certain: the company's legacy will continue to shape the video game industry for years to come.